Gordon down. Because you guys know I love me some Gordon Ramsay. Okay. Well, I'd like to welcome all of you today. And what I'm going to discuss is my life before and with systemic scleroderma. I do have others that I am constantly fighting with, but for this particular broadcast, I'm going to be just discussing that one because it seems to be the one that's causing the most damage. Okay. I'm going to start off by saying I am 43. I have 3 kids. One's 22, one's 19, and one's 17. Before this disease, I had a pretty rough life. Um, it wasn't the greatest. Um, it's pretty hard, um, even as a kid, a teenager, a young adult, and now. I have always been the type of person to just love on everybody. And hold on, guys. Hello? Yeah. All right. Just call me when you're out there and I'll have Trinity bring it out. Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. Trinity, please wait for Tyreek and bring that out to him so Ricky can get that. And Ricky, Trinity, please just do what I ask. But ain't nobody said you had to stand out there. I'm just saying. Okay. Like I was saying, even as a kid, I've always had the capability of, you know, loving on people. I believe that helping somebody makes you feel good. And that's what I did. You know, if it's down to sharing, you know, certain things with other kids that didn't have it, to, you know, getting, you know, giving them some of my lunch because they couldn't afford it, or, you know, things like that. And I think I was born that way, you know, to where giving and helping people make me feel good about myself, and it put a smile on my face. I didn't believe in hurting anyone or breaking someone's heart, you know, because I know how that feels, and I wouldn't want that on anybody because it's very painful and it's something that's very hard to overcome sometimes. Well, not sometimes, but all the time. Even though I've seen my share of horrible things um, in my lifetime that I wish I never saw, you know, as a kid, and things that were done to me that I never wish on anybody. For some reason, I've always been that silver lining person. Like, even though things are bad, I've always found a way to overcome it and just push it to the side and saying, you know what, it could be worse than this. And I think that's one of my biggest issues now because I find myself putting a lot of bad things to the back and not putting much thought into them or trying to heal myself from it. I just throw it behind me and leave it there. The problem with that is if you throw something behind you and you leave it there, even though your back is turned to it, it's still there. You can feel it watching you. And eventually you have to deal with it, ball it up, and just throw it away from you to where it's not around you or watching you. And I think with my entire life, I took things and instead of dealing with them, I just balled them up and threw it behind me and left it there. Because of that, it put big blinders, on my eyes when it came to people because I was so trusting and, welcoming to people. And that turned into something very, very horrible because a lot of people took advantage of that. They, came into my life with so much enthusiasm and, that telling me that they care, but in actuality, they didn't. They just used me. Um, they used my generosity, my love, my affection, and just stomped on it and didn't care that they did it. They just did it and moved on with their life like it was nothing. And I really took that to heart and it destroyed me because it happened all the time. And even moved on to the dating part when I was, hold on. Hello? Yes. I know. I know. All right. Hello? All right. He's outside. God. I could never do a live without somebody's calling me. Okay. So this parlayed onto my dating life. You know, I really wasn't that girl that just lay down and do whatever you wanted me to do. We had fun. We went out, you took me home. I actually demanded that you take me home. There was no after party. So, you know, a lot of boys at that time didn't like that. They normally dealt with girls that once they go out, you have to give it up. Well, that wasn't me. I wasn't going to do that. And that right there made my dating life really dull. But I didn't care. So once I became an adult, it was different. Not in that aspect, but it was different because these are men, and I was a woman at this point. I did have a couple of serious relationships, and unfortunately, they did the same thing. They used me, used my generosity, um, you know, my affection, and just crapped on it. Just crapped on it. They really didn't care, to be honest with you. Um, and never understood that. But a lot of people say it wasn't me, and it wasn't. But a lot of people said it was me because I was giving them my heart. And I said, well, wait, isn't that something you're supposed to do? And they said, you know what? Not with everyone. And I didn't really learn that until my last relationship. Well, the one before that, it was abusive, it was evil, it was horrible, and I left it. But then I got into another one where I thought that this person would never hurt me, and they end up hurting me. This person I've known for over 14 years, and we just decided to date. It was fine. Up until I got this. When I got this, that last day I saw him, he had this disgusted look on his face. Like, ugh. He didn't even want to hug me. Like, he just didn't want to deal. And as I went in the house, because at the time he was staying with his mom, because I guess he just left his baby's mother, who happened to be his ex-fiance. And I went in his room, I sat down, and I started looking around, and it didn't look like his room. It looked like someone was in there with him. Not at that time, but someone that stayed in the room with him. And I'm like, don't seem right. So as I'm sitting there trying to talk to him, and I gave him an opportunity to break it off. And, I was like, you know what, I'm getting sicker, and I won't be there, with you the way you would like me to. So I think the best thing for us to do is to break it off and be friends. He said, no, I love you too much to break it off. I'm like, okay. And he got his computer and just focused on that. He didn't focus on me. He didn't focus on our conversation. He just focused on his laptop. And at that time, I got frustrated, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go home. He's like, why? I said, I'm just going to go home. So hold on. No. So, I'm sorry, guys, for the interruption. So I said, no, I'm just going to go home. I didn't feel right. Something just didn't feel right. So I went home. And a day later, I texted him, like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Didn't text back. Like, not one word. And I'm like, that's funny. Because every time I text him hi or good morning, he texted me back. But this time, he didn't. So I'm like, okay. So later on that night, I said, are you okay? Never text back. So this went on for weeks. And I said, you know what? Whatever. So to me, I'm thinking maybe his phone's off. Maybe something wrong with his phone. So I reached out on social media, right? And he saw me messaging him, but he didn't say anything. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to text. I'm not going to call anymore because obviously I'm being ignored. So a couple more weeks went by and I got an alert on my Instagram, and it was him posting pictures. So I said, okay, maybe I'll see from that if he's okay. So I look at the picture and it's him in California. I'm like, what are you doing in California? So I scrolled past that one, and then I went to the next picture, and it was him standing in front of the back of the hotel room door. And I'm like, wait, it's not a selfie, so who's taking the picture? I said, you know what, whatever. So I scroll to the third one, and it's him laying across the bed. But in the background, perfectly placed, is a girl. with a white sleeveless dress with flowers on it, a pink and red flower pattern. So I'm like, huh, okay, ah. And it looks like she was on her phone because her back was turned, her elbows were showing. So I'm like, okay, bruh, who is this? He said, he got mad at me. He says, who are you talking to? That's one of my friends. It was plenty of us in this room. I'm like, no, because if all your friends were there, at least some of them wanted to be in your selfie if they haven't seen you in years. That room looked pretty empty. So I said, you know what? You could keep that sorry lie to yourself. You know good and darn well there's no one else in that room but you and that girl. So I tell you what, keep her. Goodbye. I no longer want any parts of you. Just go to your healthy girl and leave me alone. I'm good. And what surprised me, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Because I just let it go. And that was it. Didn't hear from him or nothing. Then all of a sudden he pops into my Facebook. I'm like, what? How are you? Why? Why do you want to know how I'm doing? Don't you like your healthy girl? No, I'm just checking on you. For what? What, is things not going great in your kingdom right now? Look. Never again. And as I got sicker and sicker, I just decided to leave it all alone. Because it doesn't make any sense. And for that, I'm very cautious when it comes to men. I just don't take in any person that says I'm cute or they like me. I don't care. Because those are just words. Who cares? You can say whatever you want out of your mouth. Your action speaks louder to me. And it's not just something you do once or twice. No. You have to be consistent for a while before I can believe that this is what you want to do. Not just because you say I'm going to be there. No. Because I'm sick and I'm sick with scleroderma and I know what it's going to do to me. I don't want anybody in my life that's just going to be there for a moment. Because this disease is not just going to be there for a moment. And I don't need anybody in my life putting me through that much stress and headache and pain. Because I'm already going through it with this disease. I don't need anybody else. If you're going to be a friend of mine, then be a friend of mine. Don't be there for a season. Because I don't need people in my life for a season. Because again, I'm fighting this horrible disease. And I know what it's going to do in the end. And I don't want anybody hurting my feelings or hurting my heart. I don't need it. And if that's something that you're going to do, then you need to leave me alone. And if you can't leave me alone, I'm going to leave you alone. And it is what it is. Because for some reason, healthy people feel like they're better than us. Like they have it all together and we're just crap. And that's far from the truth. We are some great people. Because number one, we're fighting something that they probably couldn't handle. And number two, it gives us a better lease on life. Because we can see it without those big blinders on. So if you got people in your life that wants to date you, you better be pretty sure that this is something they want to do. Because you don't want any fly-by-night people in your life. Being that it's for a friend or a potential partner or boyfriend or girlfriend, because they may look at it lightly, but this is something that's important to us because anything we bring in our life can affect us physically when it comes to having any type of autoimmune disease, any type of stress or pain or anything can trigger a flare or have us in the nearest emergency room. So, people that you invite into your life, you have to be very, very careful as to who you let in. You can't just let everybody in because everybody's not there for you. They're there for them. They either want recognition for having a disabled friend, or they want people to feel like they're the best because they have a disabled friend, or the person that you're dating want this vision of them to be this great prince, shining armor kind of thing. So when other women see or other men see, you with this disabled person, they're like, oh, this is a great person. If they can date a disabled person, then that's the kind of person I want in my life. And 9 times out of 10, these people that are saying this will try to pursue the same person you're dating. And then you're left alone while this person left you for this person that they were trying to get in the first place. So it's a lot of things we have to take into account when we bring in friends and we bring in dates. Because, again, this is something we're fighting. And this is a disease that's basically claiming our life. And we really don't want anyone like that in it. And stress and all that stuff. And I wish people would just let me be. Because I don't think they know that any type of thing that goes in my head that's negative really affects me. And people say that shouldn't, but no. I don't deal with negativity very well, and I don't like it when people bother me. Because I, have a lot of things on my head. And for some reason, people just don't give a crap about that. And then when I'm in the hospital, well, why? Because you're bothering me. And sometimes we need that time to ourselves so that we can process everything. But again, people that are not in our position won't understand that. So they'll just keep going and going and going. So, on that note, guys, this is why I'm doing this, okay? You can either like my videos or don't like my videos. I don't care, because it's bigger than your likes and everything else. It is what it is. No, I'm not a big flashy YouTuber. No, I don't have fancy backdrops and pyrotechnics and all that stuff. No, it's just me, this web camera, my headset, and you. I think if you got something to say like that, that's all that should matter. Not what you got in the background, not the music you're playing, but what you're actually saying to the people watching. So, like I said, it is what it is. You either like it or you don't. But I'm going to continue to keep doing this until the day this disease claims me. So, it is what it is. So, on that note, thank you. I'm going to try to get my mind wrapped around this stuff, and hopefully I'll be back sometime this week. If not, because I'm not really feeling too well. So just, keep your heads up and be careful who you let in. Okay? You can't fight with bull crap in your life. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a good day, a good week.